So hi, this is Sharkeisha, and I'm going to label some things on her externals. So these are her ears, the pinnaes, you can see there. Her nose is right here, the nars. And then this is her umbilical cord. Sorry, we kind of had to cut her up already. And then you can kind of see, if you look close, her nipples. But we had to cut around some of those so we could see the inside of her. And then if you see, there's a hole right here, so we have determined that Sharkeisha is a boy. Mouth, this is the hard palate up here where the ridges are, and the sensory papillae is around the tongue. And then down here, if you can see, that's the epiglottis, and that seals and closes so no more food can get down. So this is the esophagus, and it's the tube that moves food from the pharynx down to the stomach. So this right here is the sphincter, and the sphincter stops food from going back into the esophagus. So right here, this bag-like structure is the stomach, and it stores food so the enzymes can break down more food.
This is Sharkeisha's liver. This part right here, it's a little torn up, but it makes bile to break down the fats. This is the duodenum, and it uses enzymes to break down food in the small intestine.
And then connecting to that, there's also the jejunum and the ileum that all connect to the small enzyme. They go in a row. So in the pancreas, it produces hormones that regulate blood sugar.
Say it like that.
Down here is the gallbladder, which is an organ that stores bile and releases it as needed into the small intestine.
Over here we have the spleen, that's an organ near the stomach that produces, stores, and eliminates blood cells. Right here we have the large intestine that receives the liquid waste, produces products of digestion, reabsorbs water and minerals, and forms and stores feces for defecation.
This right here is the caecum, and we're gonna go down. We're gonna get this nice little rectum right there. You can see that. And then we go to the anus, my favorite part, right here.
Here's the trachea, and it is the windpipe, and it's the tube leading from the larynx to the lungs.
Right here is the diaphragm, which is a muscular partition that separates the thoracic cavity from the abdominal cavity and aids in respiration by contracting and expanding.
Right here we have our lungs. They're a little cut up, but they're the two large respiratory organs in the thoracic cavity where blood picks up oxygen and loses carbon dioxide.
Right here is the bronchial tubes that carry air into the lungs.
Down here is the thyroid gland, and up here is the larynx, which is the vocal box and holds the vocal cords.
So right here, this thing, we have the heart, and it's a multi-chambered muscular organ that pumps blood throughout the whole body and lies at the center between the lungs, as you can see right there.
The right atrium receives blood returning to the heart from the superior and inferior vena cava, and the left atrium receives blood returning to the heart from the pulmonary veins. We also have the right ventricle that pumps blood to the main pulmonary artery, and the left ventricle that pumps blood to the aorta.
So right here you see there's the kidney, and there's also one on the other side, and that connects to the ureter, which then goes down into the bladder, and then finally it connects to the urethra, which is also underneath here.